salaries. But how can you make money by shopping? Well, we don't know. We cannot imagine that. Well, I will talk about this in a second when we talk about a prosumer mechanism. But before I do that, I want you to concentrate on one question, okay, for a second. What is the main difference between shopping and selling? When you think about it. The main difference is the geographical distance. Think about this for a second. Imagine that this is a gadget that I brought here that can make you a lot of money. Let this be a best toothpaste in the world. And I tell you guys, this toothpaste is so good, everybody wants to have it, you know, you can make a ton of money selling this toothpaste. And some of you get excited about it, you grab that toothpaste, you start running around and start selling it. Now here's a question. Who can you sell this toothpaste to? Well, the answer is, well, maybe a couple guys at work, you know, maybe to some neighbors, you know, maybe to your mom or brother if they live close by. But how many of you will grab that toothpaste and you will fly with it to Dublin? Well, that doesn't make too much sense. How about Edinburgh or Aberdeen? Well, how many of you will grab this and go to Paris with it, or Warsaw, or Moscow, or Vladivostok, or San Francisco, or Johannesburg? You know, doesn't make sense. But you see, because I teach people how to do shopping, I live in San Francisco, but I have some customers in Chicago. I have some customers in New York. I have some customers in Florida. I do have customers in London. I have them in Aberdeen, and I have them in Dublin. I have them in Moscow. I have them in Vladivostok. I have them in Johannesburg and New Delhi. How did that happen? You see, I taught them how to do shopping, and I am not needed anymore. I'm not necessary. Anytime they need to buy something, they get online, they do the click, click, click with the mouse, they offer this, they order some stuff, they pay for that, the company delivers to them. I didn't know that that happened. I was sleeping very happily during that time, but at the end of the month, they sent me a couple pounds, because I was the one that taught them how to do that. You guys see the potential? Okay, this is the very beginning of the potential for residual income. You teach them once, and then the money keeps coming out. So far, I'm talking about small money. Now let's go to the main part of our business, which is the prosumer mechanism. Now the person that invited you here today, they will probably share with you a very interesting book. The title of the book is Prosumer Power. Okay, it's been written several years ago by actually a good acquaintance of mine. His name is Bill Quain, and he's a doctor of economy. And Bill has a talent to explain complicated things in a very simple way. Okay? I would advise you to read that book. You know, it's very good. By the way, for those of you that maybe don't read English very well, there's in a Polish translation, and it's called Era Prosumenta. Okay. Now, the word prosumer has been coined by Bill Quain out of two words: producer, consumer. He says producer is the person that makes money on products. Consumer is a person that spends money on products. Prosumer is a person that makes money each time he spends. Okay. Now it sounds pretty good. If they paid you for each time that you go to shopping, you would just go shopping all the time, right? And unfortunately, it will not happen in supermarket. You can save money there, you cannot make money there. Okay? There's no mechanism like that. You cannot do this on other internet stores and so on. And this is specifically in our case. Now, how does it work? Let's say that this is the price of any product that you normally buy. You know, each one of you, as long as you're alive, you will keep on buying some products. Okay? If we agree, just as we are sitting in this room, that tomorrow morning, all of us go, everybody goes to his own store, you know, wherever is the place that you usually purchase your products, okay? And you spend exactly 100 pounds in that place. Okay, so each one of you did your shopping, you bring your stuff together, you put it on a kitchen table, and then you ask a funny question. The question is, what is the worth of those products now that I already bought them? Now, most people don't know the answer to that. You know what? It's not worth a whole lot. Okay, those products actually are worth between 10 and 20 pounds. Let's say for a second 15, okay, just to get some number. Okay, it depends a little bit on what you buy. Okay, let's say 15 pounds. And you can say, yeah, wait a minute. So why did they take from me 100 pounds and gave me back 15? That makes no sense. Okay. Well, the problem is that 85 pounds of your money did not go for what you need. It did go for what they need. That 85 pounds is connected to the way they do the business, to the way they distribute products. You see, some of this they spend on the building they're in. You don't need that building. You just need this toothpaste or soap or whatever you are buying, shampoo, right? But they have to pay for the building, so they add to the price of that shampoo. Some of this is spent on the parking lot. You don't need that parking lot. They need it. Some of this is spent on the income or on the salary of that salesperson that was serving you. You don't need that. You just need your toothpaste, right? But all this is adding up, you know. They have to pay on the insurance, they have to pay taxes, and they have to create a huge profit for the owner. You can say, but that doesn't make sense. Why would I be interested in investing in that business? It's not my business. And they say, you don't have a choice. Here's our prices, take it or leave it. You don't want it? Hey, 1,000 people are waiting outside, okay? And if you go to the next door store, they have the same system, the same prices. And so people around the world are happily overpaying whatever they're buying by 70%. Now you could say, yeah, but what if I go to the producer directly? If you did go to the producer, it would only cost you 30%. So now you're paying 30 pounds instead of 100, you know? That would be nice. Question, why don't you do that? It seems like it makes sense. Well, the problem is the producer will not want to talk to you, right? Can you imagine a naive guy that goes to the toothpaste factory and says, hi, can I have one toothpaste? They would say, excuse me, sir, you're in the wrong place, you know. Over here we're dealing with large numbers. If you would like 500,000 toothpaste, then we can talk about it. And you say, I don't have that many teeth. And they say, that's not our problem. Okay. You understand that? And so people gave up on that, and they are thinking there is no way out. We just have to pay this extra 70%. That is not true. You see, the altruistic marketing is uniting hundreds of thousands of people. To be exact, there's over 3 million of us, okay, in 90 different countries. And so that is a huge market power. Okay? Let's assume that I am buying only one toothpaste, but if every one of us is buying one toothpaste, then together we have bought hundreds of thousands. And so all the producers that are involved with us, and the main organizer of this is Amway Corporation, they say, all we want is our 30%. So the other 70% that normally did go into the pocket of the guy that you never will meet, and he's already rich, okay? This time, it goes into our pockets. Now, our formal status is that we are all independent business owners, and we share that 70% among us. How do we do that? Proportional to the effort. Okay, first 25% over here is going into the pockets of the final buyer as a discount. But there are some technical limitations on this. I'm not going to go into that because it will be too complicated for today. The person that invited you today, they will sit down with you and explain all the details a little later. But a 25% discount, that makes those products a little bit more attractive. And you will find out that some of our products have very, very attractive prices. Okay? All right. Well, that leaves the rest of this, and I'm going to use a different color. I don't have a red here, so I'm going to use the green. Okay? This is the heart of the idea, the heart of the concept. Out of this 40–45% of the total number, we are creating the teachers fund. This is the fund for the teachers. And out of that, we are creating the residual income for people that understand the concept and propagate the concept around the world, teaching others how to do the same. Now guys, how powerful is this idea? It's extremely powerful. I would venture one statement. You know, a lot of you I see the first time in my life. But every one of you has sometime in your life taught somebody something. Am I right? Maybe you have a younger brother, maybe you have helped this guy or that guy, maybe someplace at school, maybe you helped some neighbor, you know, I don't know. But we are helping people, we are teaching people all our lives. Am I right? Now here's a question. What do you have from that? Financially? Nothing. I had some satisfaction. You know, the boss came at work and said, hey, would you teach her what you're doing so well? You know, and you worked with her, you taught her, you know, and the boss came back, good job. That's about it, right? Well, why do we do that? Why do we do that? You see, because people have this good feeling about that. You know, that we like to help other people. We like to have a little satisfaction out of that. All right? Well, I was a professional teacher. I was a professor of physics for many, many years. You know, and one day at the end of my career, I sat down and I started calculating. You know, that I taught physics to more than 10,000 students. Now, my students in today's world are making over $20 million a month. That's a lot of money. How much of that they pay me? Not much. Okay. Zero. You know, I should not be surprised because education is on the left-hand side here. There is no inactive income in education. They pay you for your time, that's it. Bye-bye. But I don't like the idea. If they only pay me $1 each, I'm not a little money. You know, my wife would smile more. Well, in this business, if you allow me to help you, and I know how to do that, to get to the level of, let's say, 100,000 pounds a year, I want you to understand, this is not 1 week, this is not 1 month, this is not even 1 year. If you want to make that kind of money, it's going to take us several years of hard work. To me as a teacher, to you as a student. Can I do that? Yes, I can. I already have people that I have to that level. Now, can you do that? I don't know. It depends on how good a student you will be. But if you reach that level, my role is finished. I can go to Hawaii, I can lie on that beach, I can enjoy life for a second. You will not stop doing what you're doing because your lifestyle depends on that. And the company will keep sending me, not from your pocket, but from this teacher's funds, a part of the profit that you're creating. Now here's the most important thing. And I know there's a lot of young people in the room, so you don't care that much, but it's important if you think about the future. You know, how long will they send that money? And the answer is not till the end of my life, not till the end of yours. They will keep sending this money till the end of the life of your business. And so if we build this business right, 50 years from now, I'm not going to be around, but my great-grandchildren will be. And they will keep profiting from what I am doing today. I personally think it's a powerful, powerful statement. It's a powerful idea. So remember this. If you came here today to hear something about easy business, you are in the wrong room. Okay? There is no business that is easy and good. The ones that are easy are not good. The ones that are good are not easy. Okay? It's not going to be easy, but it's a wonderful, wonderful concept. Now let's talk a little bit about how the money gets created. Okay? First of all, the total volume of our business, you know, that's been last year is almost $11 billion. It's $10.9 billion, not million, billion dollars. In 90 countries, okay? And so there's a lot of money to reward people that are serious here. So there's about 80 ways of making money and a lot of potential here financially for the serious people. Now, I'm not going to be explaining the all 80 ways today. What I'll do is, just to get you started, I'll explain the first 3 ways of making money, and then we'll jump to the last one to just show you what the potential is if you happen to be serious. Okay? Now, there's only 2 things that we are doing in this business. Both of them are very, very simple. Okay? This is what they independent business owners are doing. The first one, I like to call it prosumption. What is prosumption? Prosumption is a professional consumption. You have access to hundreds of products. Some of them are very, very good. Some of them you may like a little less. I don't know. It's very individual reaction. You pick up a few of what you're already using from some other sources, and you start buying the products from yourself for yourself. Okay? You will have to do that. You know that. What do you do when you finish your toothpaste? You buy another one. Okay? What do you do when you finish your shampoo? You buy another one. You know, there's no way around it. You know, it's just a question of where you buy and which one you buy. Who decides that? In your household, you decide. And that's the key point here, once you understand. Well, out of that, you're creating some volume. Okay, this is yours. Okay. How much volume? I don't know. I'll be talking here about creating 100 so-called points. Okay. Now, the point system is generally introduced to unify all markets in Europe and around the world. Here in the UK, basically, 1 point is about 1.5 pounds, 1.5 pounds. So 100 points, we're talking about 150 pounds. Now, how many of you know a family here in London that is not spending 150 pounds every month? It's pretty obvious, right? Okay. Even if you're not in London. But there are some exceptions. You know, there are some people that have very small budgets. There are some young students that don't have income. There are some retired people that don't have income. That's not a big deal because we can teach those guys how to recommend a couple of clients and sell the stuff to those people. So creating this first 100 points is really the easiest part of the whole business. Now here in this world, there are many, many people that do much more than 100 points. And so they can teach you how to do that. So assume that this is the easy stuff, and let's go on. Okay. If you did that, okay, from the first way of making money, you'll make 25% of this 100, which is 25 points, times 1.5, well, you just made about 37 pounds. Okay. Not a whole lot of money, you're not rich yet, okay, but it's a profit. The nice point about it is it's a clear profit. It's very hard to come up with an idea of the business where you have to invest usually hundreds of thousands of pounds, and you see the first pound in 2 years, right? Sometimes you see the first pound in 4 years. Sometimes you never see the first pound. You know people like that. You know, they try the 15th business and they all fail. And they never give up. They keep doing it. Keep doing it. Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of the first part. I would just like to remember one thing out of this whole thing. Change your buying habits. You know, all of us have buying habits. Whenever you need something, you run over to this store, you run over to that store. When you want to do that, catch yourself. Remember that you have a business that takes care of your family and buy from yourself. Now, do you have to do it? No, you're independent business owner. And you decide if you want to do it or not. Okay, end of part 1. Here's part 2. Part 2 is as simple as the first one. We call this recommendation. We recommend. Now again, I'm going to risk a statement here. Because a lot of you I don't know. I saw you the first time in my life. But I know something about you. You recommend. You recommend good books to your friends. You recommend a good program on TV. You recommend a good doctor. You recommend a good restaurant. You recommend all kinds of things. You even recommend people to each other. Hey, you need to meet her. You know, she's really nice girl. And then people get married and we are in trouble. But we keep recommending. And you know what's funny? We do this in China. We do this in Poland. We do this in the US. We do it in Nigeria. We do it all over the world. Right? It's in human nature. Now, recommendation works all over the world under one extremely important condition. You have to believe in what you recommend. And that is why it is so important that you understand this concept. When you see the whole potential of the concept, you will have no problem recommending. Now, if you don't see that potential, I can promise you, you will just not recommend it. All right? Well, now, people have to be recommended in this business too. Each one of you will be recommended by the person that invited you here. Whoever that was, we call that person your sponsor. And your sponsor is not going to be your boss. He cannot force you to do anything. You're a free person. You decide what you will do. But a sponsor will be your friend. Why? We have a really nice trick here. We don't pay anything to your sponsor for the fact that he or she helped you getting registered. We are not in the recruiting business, like many other ideas on the market. We are, remember our definition? We are in business of people helping people, because your sponsor wants to make money. The only way for your sponsor to make money is to help you make money first. And now comes the second trick. The more they pay to you for your results, the more they pay to your sponsor, but not from your pocket, from the teacher's funds over here. And so each one of us will be working with the whole team of people, and that team is interested in helping you get started, helping you be successful. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that you'll be sitting at home and you're just changing channels and watching the Euro 2012, okay, and waiting for the £1 million to be sent to you. Okay. What I'm saying is that there will be a team of people interested in teaching you to do everything so good that they eventually will be able to retire. And that team will help you. That team will help you sponsor some people. Who do you know in London? Who do you know in London? Who do you know in Southampton? Who do you know in, I don't know, in Stratford? Who do you know in Dublin? Who do you know in Edinburgh? Who do you know in Aberdeen? Did I miss something? Okay, one more. This is UK. On top of UK, there's many, many other places. I have a funny question for you. How many of you were not born in this country? Okay, I asked the wrong question. How many of you were born in this country? All right, hey, you're the only one. but you're not going to hold it against you. But the thing is that in this country, mostly people like you are building this business. But we invited here because we have a large organization. We have invited everybody here. Now, if you're not from here, you know people that don't live here. Am I right? So here's a funny question. How many of you know somebody in France? A few of you. Okay, let me change the question. How many of you know somebody that knows somebody in France? I'm afraid every one of you knows somebody like that, right? How many of you know somebody that knows somebody in Germany? How many of you know somebody that knows somebody in Poland? How many of you know somebody that knows somebody in the United States? Okay, you see my point? You see, I didn't know any person in India. I never went to India. I don't speak their language. I didn't know anybody. I have a large business in India. How did that ever happen? I knew somebody, that knew somebody, knew somebody, knew somebody. In the 30th generation, I found somebody that had good contacts in India. I taught him how to do it. He went there. Today, I have the business there. Does that make any sense? Do you see the potential for yourself here? You know, do you see this residual income coming from very simple fact? All of us are consumers, and all of us know the other consumers. Okay. All right. Now comes, let's say that we teach all those people here how to do 100 points. That will never happen. You know, I'm not going to even write that 100 inside. Okay. And now comes the second way of making money. Does anybody have a bonus schedule here? Nobody? Okay. I have to write it down. Okay. They make me work hard. Okay. Here's what a teacher makes. Okay. If you get to the 600 points over here, then suddenly you start collecting 6% extra in the bonus for this. If your whole group has 1,200 points, you get 9%. If they get to 2,400, you get 12%. If they get to 4,000, you get 15%. If they get to 7,000, you get 18%. And then finally, if they get to the 10,000, and everything about that is 21%. Now, the way it works is that Essential Computer calculates your bonus But before they pay you out that bonus, they subtract from your bonuses the bonuses of your students. So you can say, so how do I make money on that? Well, all of us are making money on the differential of those brackets. And so there's a strategy involved that we will be teaching you how to do that. How to build your business so that you're always in a higher bracket than anybody in your group. And that will be very clear from my example here. Now, first of all, you have to understand that anybody that you sponsor here, they are not interested so much as how much money you make. They want to make money for their families. Okay? So let's identify a person here that will allow us to help them. Okay? And let's help them. Okay? Let's sponsor somebody under this group here. And I'm going to assume that there's 6 people here that they sponsor. Okay? This is just a model. Okay? And I'm going to assume that on average everybody here did 6. Okay? Well, what's going to happen? Well, this is the third way of income. I'm sorry, I missed the second way. Okay, let me go back. Let me go back. Well, I showed you the idea. I didn't tell you how much money you make. In this first, before those blue people got in here, you had 900 points, okay, plus 100 that you did yourself. That was 1,000 points. Okay, computer looks up that little table schedule here and says, oh, you deserve 6%. So you get 60 points. Plus your 25, that's about 85. 85 times 1.5, that is 130 pounds. About at the second level, you are making 130 pounds. Which is a little better than 37 pounds the first month. Okay? Well, it's a lot better. I want you to focus on this for a second. Okay? What happened here? For the first time in most of your lives, you have an access to some, not large, but some residual income. Okay, the 37 pounds, again, you made for what you did yourself. You sold some products, you bought some products, that's what you get. But the rest of the money, you are receiving not for what you did, but for what your students did. Somebody in the little town of Aberdeen has bought a present for their son. The son just finished, he had a birthday, and so he got a present. You don't know that they have a son. You don't know that the son had a birthday, but at the end of the month you received 5 pounds because you were the one that taught them how to do that. And you can say, but I don't know anybody in Aberdeen. Maybe don't. But you know somebody in London, that knows somebody in London, that knows somebody in Stratford, that knows somebody in Nottingham, that knows somebody in Edinburgh, that knows somebody in Aberdeen. Make sense? Okay. Now, none of these guys got in the business to make you rich, so let's help them. Okay, and here's the third way of making money. Now we go to the blue points. There are 600 and 100 and 700 points over here. You have 9 businesses like that, 9 times 700, plus your 100. That is 6,400 points, or almost 10,000 pounds a month. They said, wait a minute, how did that happen? I was just doing a little bit, not that much. How do I have now a business of 10,000 pounds a month? See guys, if you understand this point, you will understand the potential here. By now you have 64 families involved that moved from this quadrant to this quadrant. Suddenly they think like business people. Suddenly they believe that this is a good idea. Suddenly they start buying from themselves. What is that? What they do? See, they get up in the morning and they brush their teeth, like I always did. But this time they're using their own toothpaste. But they wash their hair, just like they always did. But they're using their own shampoo. They wash the dishes with their own stuff. They wash the car. They bathe the baby. They use some cosmetics. They swallow a couple of vitamins and they go to work. Nothing changed in their life except one little thing. The source of the products they're buying. Now, who decides that? They do. They do. They have a total control on where they purchase those products. Is that too simple to understand? You see, a lot of people just miss this idea because it's so simple. All we did is we continued doing what we always were doing, and now we are creating money out of that. We stopped paying this unnecessary 70% to the guy that you will never meet. How much money you're making? Now you're 15%. 15% from this is 960, okay, 960 points. But your people, each one of them is making 6%, so it's 42 times 9, there's 9 of them, that's 378. Notice I'm running over the mathematics because I'm hoping that tomorrow we'll meet with your sponsor and you'll sit over those numbers, you'll go slowly, one by one, you understand how it works. It's 582 plus your 25, that's about 600 times 1.5. Well, you just made the third level, you just made 900 pounds. Hey, 900 pounds is not a huge amount of money, but you know what? It's better than nothing. How many of you wouldn't mind making 900 pounds more than you're making today? Well, that will be good. All right, I see I'm in the right place. Now, it didn't make you rich yet, it didn't make you independent, but let's go on one more step. And let's say that we have these guys here sponsor 3 more people. And I'm going to assume that every one of those did 3 more people, 3 more people, 3 more people. And I'm going to assume that everybody here did the same. This is level 4. Okay? Well, the green circles, there's 100 in each, so the blue circle has now 400 points. The black circle now has 6 times 400 plus 100. That is 2,500 points. And you have now 9 times 2,500 plus your 100. That is 22,600 points, to be exact. Times 1.5, you've got a business over 30,000 pounds a month. How did that happen? You know the answer to the question. Now you have 226 families. Brushing the teeth, washing the hair, washing the dishes, using the products. Okay? Simple? Simple. People say, yeah, but that's a lot of money. Do I have to go to the bank? Do I have to collect that money from my customers? No. No, you don't see that money. How much money do you see? Your own 100 points. Where's the rest of that money? In the computer. Computer. You don't see that. Okay? And so people that are owners of the businesses, they don't believe there could be such a simple business. Everybody's worried, how do I collect the money that they own? You don't have that problem. Okay, how much money you make? Now you're 21%, so you're going to the top of this scale. And that's 226, 452. That's the total of 4,746 points. But your people now are at the 12% level. Each one of them makes 300 points or 450 pounds. Here's what's going to happen. Some of these people will be beginning slowly to like you. Help them make 450 pounds every month, and they will smile when they see you. Okay? Now there's 9 of them, so I have to subtract it from you. This is 2,700. And when I subtract 2,700, I'm left with almost exactly 2,000 times 1.5. Okay? At this 4th level, you are making 3,000 pounds a month. Is that better? Okay. Guys, now let me go to the next way of making money. Because to me, as I said before, there's a lot of young people in this room, and so you may not be that much worried about that. But how many of you have children? A few of you. How many of you have children that you like? That's a little tough one, right? Well, the point is this, when we arrived in the U.S. 30 years ago, I was elated, I was excited, I was in a different system, at that time, Poland was under communism, there were no possibility of making good money, if you did, you were an outcast, you were criminal or whatever. So I was happy about it, I was excited, but at the same time, the social system in the U.S. was different. And I was worried about my 2 little girls. I had 2 little daughters, and I was thinking, what would happen to them if something happens to me? They're not going to go to my work, take over my job. And so I was going around, I was looking for something, and you know what's interesting? At that time, I never heard of the guy by the name of Robert Kiyosaki. He didn't write his book yet, okay? I didn't know what is the residual income, but I was subconsciously looking for residual income. And all my prayers have been answered in this 3rd way of making money. Now here's what happens. This is the 3rd way. If you get to that 21%, and you stay there for 6 months in a given year, you completely change your status in the business. You break away from your sponsor. That's your sponsor, this is you. I'm drawing you much bigger now. You break away from the sponsor, you start dealing directly with the Amway Corporation. They send you money, they send you products, and then you take over the leadership of the business. You can say, you become what is called a platinum ABO. Okay? Well, you say, that all sounds pretty good, but what about my sponsor? You know, my sponsor was helping me, was investing in me, was coming and doing all stuff for me, and now I take all the group and go. My sponsor will never allow me to do that. And that's this whole secret of the business. Whoever your sponsor is, they dream of that moment. They don't want to work with your group. They want to teach you how to work with your group, right? You know. And so at the moment when they reach that level, the company comes into your sponsor and says, oh, you found us a good person. Now we will start paying you the 4%, additional 4% of the whole volume that this person creates. How much is that 4%? Well, 4% of 10,000 is 400 times 1.5. You know, that would be 600 pounds. That's a minimum. And every check is really around 1,000 pounds. Now here's what you're doing. Find the best person in your group. It might be one of your friends, might be some people on the way here that helped you lead to that person. Okay? And let's put them on our system. Let's help them get to the platinum level. They are making now 3,000 pounds a month. They love you forever. They break away from you. And in exchange for that, the company is sending you every month a check for 1,000 pounds. Guys, I've been around for a long time in this world. I've never seen a greater idea than this. Can you imagine my 10,000 students that I taught physics? I got a lot of money. I got a lot of students in this business as well. Because number one, you don't have to wait till you're 65 or 67 or whatever it's going to be by the time that you're at that age. Okay? Probably 90 you will have to work on, okay? Judging by how fast it grows. Number two, if 1,000 pounds is not enough, you can always identify a second person to help them the same. Maybe the second one is going to be in Ireland. Maybe the third one is going to be in Germany. Maybe the fourth one is going to be in Poland or Lithuania or Russia or US or South Africa. I don't know. People say, how many of those can I have? That's the most beautiful part of this concept. No limit. Each one of you will decide, I got enough, I'm not going to work anymore. You will decide. Now, how many is it possible? The best people in this world have created 65 of those. People look at that and say, that's a lot of work. Oh yeah, it's also a lot of money. Now, nobody forced them to do that. They did it to show to us, to prove to us that it's possible. The good news about us is that people that did that are actually our mentors, our teachers. Not so long ago, 2 days ago, there was a seminar here organized by them, where one of the best students were teaching here. Their name is Dexter and Birdie Yeager. Now there's a whole Yeager family. There's 3 young gentlemen involved that are sons of Dexter and Birdie, and their name is Steve, Jeff, and Doyle, and they're coming here all the time. Well, what Dexter and Birdie did was very unusual. They broke a record, but they also got a record money. The income for doing that particular year, was $3,920,000. About $4 million. Now Dexter was not as impressed with this number as I am, because he also got all the other bonuses that year. Okay. I thought this was a number 80 or whatever bonus. I don't even know how much money they made. I wrote to the company. I said, send it to me. I'll be more impressed. Guess what? And they said, as soon as you do 65. Okay. Here's a nice part. You know, I'll tell you a little anecdote, because when Dexter was receiving his previous check, this one he got last year. Okay, but a few years ago, in 2006, he got the check for 60 points. And I happened to be at a seminar when they were giving it to them. I didn't know that. I didn't know that that would happen. But their son, Steve Yeager, is calling me in California. He says, well, you know what, you're coming to this function. Would you like to take care of Dex and Birdie on Friday night? I said, sure, it's an honor. We'll be happy to do that. So we get in the car, we drive over there, to Palm Springs in California, and we meet Dex and Birdie, and we are preparing them for the stage, we're helping them get nicely dressed. We're coming out there, and there's thousands of people in the room, and the president of Amway Corporation, Doug DeVos, is on stage, and he says those words. He says, Dexter, we are so proud of you guys, of this family, for what you did. You broke a record. Nobody ever has done this, and 60 points, and in exchange for that, to show our gratitude, we've got a little present for you. And he pulls out this huge check, and I'm running over to the stage. I'm trying to count the number of digits, and that was a little less than this, but it was over 3 million. It was $3,360,000. Yeah, remember that. And then Doug DeVos made a little joke. He said, by the way, Dexter, we were worried about you because, it's Friday night, the banks are closed, and we're thinking, how are you going to cash that check? So we took care of you. He clicked his fingers, and two huge guys brought in a ton of money. I don't know how many of you have seen $3 million cash, I have never seen anything like that. But you know what? Dexter has never seen anything like that. Doug DeVos has never seen it. So what happened was those two big guys, they're bringing this money, it was like tables, of packages of money, and they're both guns. So they have the guns, okay? And 1,000 people start running towards the stage. And I'm watching the faces of those guys like, who do I shoot first? I got a few bullets here. But they didn't have to worry. Because those guys didn't run to steal that money. They just wanted to take the deal. And the reason that is because that money is available to every one of us. See, I've been 30 years in the Amway business, and I always got what I deserved. Never more, unfortunately, for some of you. Okay. Nevertheless, okay, I always got what I deserved. We know what the rules are. It's just a question of satisfying those rules. That money is waiting for you. And then, you know what was very interesting? Because I'm shooting, I got this allergy that attacks me for 15 seconds. I hope you catch it on video. Even people with allergies can make money. We went over to, Birdie says it's like 1 a.m. and Birdie Yeager says, I'm hungry. I need a sandwich. So Sophia and I, we take them and we're looking for some place. And the only place that was open at that time was a casino. So we go to the Indian casino there, and Birdie had her sandwich, and we're walking out of the casino. It's like 3 a.m. by now. And we're walking there, and there's this nice place, like in casinos. It says jackpot. It says jackpot $3,300,000. Which is exactly what Dexter got. And I said, Dexter, can I take a picture of you, with this jackpot thing, because it's so interesting. There's millions of people coming to this place, hoping one day to win this money. The difference between that and you is that for you it was 100% sure. Because in this business, if you do what they say, you always get the money. Now let me finish with two things. Number one is the structure of the business that we have. Right here, there's a company, the mother company called Alticor. Now, not many people know Alticor because it's totally in the private hands. It's owned by two families, DeVos, Van Andel. The Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel were the first two founders, and now they're very, very well known all over the place. Now, some of you that go to Facebook or Twitter, you will learn a very interesting thing. In about 2 or 3 days, Rich DeVos, who is still alive, will have the honor of giving two of his sons, Dick DeVos and Doug DeVos, the highest award ever given by the Direct Sales Association. And Rich got that award in 79, 20 years after founding the Amway business. Okay? Now this time he's going to give it to his two sons. One was the president of Amway for 10 years, and the other one ever since, which is already over 10 years. Okay? Well, the boss and Van Andel, you know, they're famous because they founded the company called Amway Corporation. Amway was founded in the 1959, which is way before most of you were born. Okay, so that business has been around for 52 years. It's a 53rd year of working. Every single year, no debt at all, hundreds of products, a lot of investment. They're famous in a lot of ways. You know, they got hundreds of patents. They got really great scientific staff and so on and so forth. But it was founded, that business was founded on principle. And they had 4 principles. That's very, very unusual. That 4 principles is freedom, family,